Hi guys, today we are going to review the Demonata Back. So, is the book better than book 3 or is it gonna be a piece of shit? So, without any delays, let's get started.
We have three alternative covers. The first cover is pretty good. An ominous looking person is staring at you, and his hand is about to reach the reader. I like it. The coloring and shading are superb. It makes me want to get a copy of the book. Great job. The second cover is pretty good as well. It's the same deal as book 1. There is a hideous face staring at the reader. The blue color is used in a significant way. It emphasizes the reader that this is a cave, which is cold and isolated. Good job as well. The last cover is awful. We have an anthropomorphic alligator staring at the reader. I do not know who is the artist of the book. They need to stop making book covers. They are not good. My verdict for the covers are: cover 1 and 2 gets a 9 out of 10. Cover 3 gets a 2 out of 10. We start book 4 with the last main protagonist of the series. Beck narrates how she was born. What a weird way to start the book. Beck tells us how she came into the world in her first person perspective. Brilliant. Just brilliant. Banba is suitable for pointing this out. No one can remember how they are born, no matter your status or magic. I know why the author did it, because Beck's defining characteristic is that she has the best memory. Keep that in mind, readers. That one note characteristic of Beck will play an important role in later books. Beck continues to narrate about her early life in the world. We find out we are between 351 AD and 400 AD, during ancient Iran's conversion from paganism to Christianity. The author doesn't point out which year we are, but it's not essential. Iran is the place where Darren's son visited with his wife. Darren's son did a lot of research during that period, and in my opinion, he did a great job at showcasing the people of that time. Beck's narration about her people is fantastic. Unlike Graham's unnatural narration in book 1, in book 4 we get to see Beck training with Banba. She interacts with the villagers. We get a good glimpse of life back then. Great job, Darren. I forgot for a moment that I was reading the Demonata. Then the demons came, and then I remembered. Oh my goodness, it is the Demonata! Oh man. However, the fight scenes have improved. The characters are using tactics to fight the demons. It's like Darren has grown up as a writer. Finally, we are actually gonna see something decent for once. And book 4 is definitely better than book 3, by a long shot. Unlike the first 3 books, book 4 has an atmosphere and a believable setting. His research finally paid off. However, I wish he could have better handled magic, demons, werewolves, and horror. The problem so far is Beck as a protagonist. How she speaks makes me feel like I'm reading an AI trying to act like a human being. No different from Ray. Unlike Ray, who slowly becomes human and grows, Beck remains an emotionless bot for the rest of the series. She is more of a plot device than an actual character. Some of you will say, but Sonicfan! Beck has a crush on Fianca. She is a girl after all and has emotions. Yes, guys, she has a crush on a guy. However, the way she narrates, it is like a programmer had to write this dialogue. After everyone is healing from the battle with the demons, they spot a boy outside the walls. The citizens are naturally concerned. Beck and the others approach the boy. Unfortunately, the kid cannot speak very well. He only remembers a few words. The boy loves to run fast and repeat that word too many times, so he got the nickname Run Fast. They bring him inside the village. The leader of the town decides what they are going to do with the boy. They decided to find the boy's village and why he came here. The king demands volunteers. Beck, Fianca, Ronan, Lorcan, Golan, Gol, and Mac Kadan decided to join the quest to find Run Fast's village. They leave the village and begin the search. We are in the forest. Darren-san moves one step forward and two steps back. The good thing about the book is the atmosphere. I can picture the forest, the locations, and the mythology just fine. Unfortunately, all the characters are significantly one note. I already mentioned Beck. Let's talk about the other companions. The twins are just dull. They love to fight. Cole is just an old warrior. The only defining aspect is Beck views Cole as her father. Mac Gaddan could have become a decent character if Darren bothered to flesh her out. However, she's just a strong woman who only lost her children. It's a shame, really. Fianca is your dull, pretty boy who loves to learn how to make better weapons. His only purpose of existence is being Beck's romantic interest when she has to remind herself she's a human and not a plot device. I need to write some code just to make sure that she has more personality. Their conversation with each other doesn't help. It feels like I'm reading a generic Dungeons and Dragons game without the charisma. Demons arrive and a fight ensues. The characters locate the stones, which have casting spells. They head over there and are protected. The demons cannot go inside. The characters realize they cannot stay here forever. They try to think of a plan. Great job, Darren. Then you ruin the tension and atmosphere by having Run Fast go outside the magic barrier and dance like a drunk peasant. Run Fast avoids all the attacks, and I'm not too fond of it. Darren, you're supposed to be the master of horror, yet you write scenes like this and ruin the terror and tension. It would be best if you tagged your books as dark fantasy. Comedy shouldn't be in settings like this. Anyways, they seize the opportunity and flee. Run Fast is left behind. All the characters are safe. Run Fast escaped the demons and rejoined the crew. There is a great scene in the church. Do you see, Darren? You can do it if you try. I can picture the location with no music. Allow the expression of the characters to speak. We resume the journey to find Run Fast Village. They find it. It's called Crannock. A druid lives there. His name is Trust. His objective is to find a capable warrior to close the Demonata portal and prevent the demons from coming out. They all agree to help him. Trust will teach Beck the way of magic, and I cannot believe I'm saying this. It took him 3 whole books to finally have characters to practice magic. Unbelievable but true. Darren, you're understanding the principle of training the main protagonist. What took you so long, man? Seriously, I need to know. The crew begins their new journey to close the Demonata portal. At the same time, we get the training arc. Darren remembers this is a Demonata book series, and guess who we have as a guest character or object? Chess. No, guys, if you think Drast is Bartholomew Garadex or someone close to him, you are out of luck. Darren wants to wing at the readers, to remind us that the books exist. Darren could have carried all together. The book has another problem. It has terrible pacing. I don't mind the slow pacing if the characters are well written, but their dialogues are boring. It drags the story out. I like Drast as a character. He reminds me of Baranabus. People will die as long as it's not the whole of humanity. There's always hope. There is a good concept regarding Christianity in the world of the Demonata. Before the Christianity, the world is filled with magic. All the magical creatures in the world are slowly disappearing. The old creatures, the world's gods, helped humanity with magic. Magicians and wizards are born. It is based on believing in magic. However, just believing in magic is not enough. You need to nurture and use it to its fullest potential. Christianity is covering the whole world, and the old ways are gone. Great job, Darren. We have the following chapter. We have the characters meeting with Lord Loss. A fight ensues. Beck remembers her lessons from Drast. She draws powers from the stars. Beck heads towards Lord Loss and absorbs some of his powers from him. Beck has so much energy she can do anything she wants. Lord Loss smiles and leaves the scene. Remember that scene, everyone. It will play an important role later. And now we have Beck, whose powers are beyond her control. She wants to use her powers for something more. She finally has a personality for once. She will become a Sonen villain, the destroyer of humankind. Yet by the power of Talk No Jutsu from Drast, she came to her senses. Beck ignored the fact that Lord Loss was whispering to Conlan. It's not like this is going to backfire later. Way to go, Arthur. Your subtlety was never your forte. Beck saw Lord Loss speaking to Conlan, and she never thought of telling it to anyone, or even confront Conlan directly and try to force information out of him. The characters are self-sabotaging each other. Don't worry, guys, this trend will follow us for the rest of the book series. You just spoiled a big reveal. At least in book 3, you bothered to hide the director's reveal, but here you are pointing your finger and saying, "Look at this, everyone, Conan is going to portray the crew. Don't do anything, Beck, otherwise I cannot kill you all." Then we have our first kill. Mag Gadan bites the dust. Her death is good on paper. Her children come back to life because she misses them. She heads over to them and they kill her. Her death needed better execution. The characters tried to stop her. Don't tell me they couldn't break her legs or use a specific spell to make her sleep. But of course, they failed by allowing her to go. Yes, Beck suggested using magic, but Drast says the power of true love is strong. We cannot do anything. What is this bullshit rule? It is a horror book series. Well, not really. It's a dark fantasy. Drast could have used any spell to stop her and prevent her death. It would have been better if they couldn't reach Mag Gadan to save her. If they had fought an army of demons, it would demonstrate the Demonata are clever and Lord Loss is a great manipulator. The way it is presented is a skeleton of a good horror concept. However, it was wasted. Beck, should you talk about Conlan with the others, or you can just ignore it and go to the next destination? Of course you just ignore him. Why am I not surprised? You all deserve to die miserably. Lord Loss, may I help you? I also want to kill Gramps as well. The stupendous gang heads over to a village nearby. Beck finally learns about her heritage. She is a descendant of the McGregor clan. The McGregor clan is Gramps' ancestors, which makes Beck his great, 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 and multiple greats relative. The Gramps' ancestors were torn apart by demons is not a misplaced plot point, as they are enough myths and modern human reactions to show that some animalistic traits do not stop people's drives. Instead, it's disappointing as a revelation because the people who learn about it aren't the characters affected by it. 2. It doesn't affect the series as information later on. 3. It is the exact transfer of an existing myth into the story with no other myths taking up space and without this myth having an organic application beyond drama generation. And now for another big reveal. Everyone, do you want to know about the existence of werewolves? Then get ready to facepalm. It will make the vampires of Twilight to make sense. Here is the big reveal. Yes, you are all reading this. Graham's ancestors did it with the demons. Thus, the curse of the Grady family was born. Before you say they did this out of survival, it's...
It just doesn't make any sense. I have to get to the bottom of this. Well, I finally cracked the code.
Back to the review. Drast and Beck continue their training. Drast is curious about Beck's magic and wants to uncover the reason. He used the magic which Dervist used in Book 3. He finds out about Lord Loss' magic being inside Beck. It wasn't the fact that Beck stole the power. Lord Loss did it willingly. It is another good idea. What kind of plan does Lord Loss have? The characters do not bother trying to find out and head to the next destination, the sea. Multiple mythical creatures and druids are leaving the land. Magic is dying. The Christians are taking over the world. Great job, Darren. Trust insists he will continue his journey. They are getting closer to their destination. Finally, demons arrive and a battle begins. Another member bites the dust. It's one of the twins. I won't bother checking his name. That is how forgettable they are. Darren once again has to remind us chess still exists. Trust is playing chess on Just Land. Just Land is filled with solid magic. Trust is having a good time. Lord Loss arrives, and this is where he sees chess for the first time. This is where his obsession with chess came into being. How did Barth find out is beyond me. Lord Loss cannot harm Drast. Drast is asking the questions. Unfortunately, Lord Loss remains vague in his responses. He's approaching Beck and Drast is using his magic to stop him. Lord Loss plays a guise, a curse on the whole crew. He leaves the characters alone. Well, that was pointless. Suppose I was Darren's editor or beta reader. I would have told him to remove that scene altogether. The chessboard is just pure fan service for the sake of fan service. Drast doesn't use his powers to kill Lord Loss or force him to destroy the curse. Some of you will say, but Sonicfan, this book is a prequel. Darren cannot kill Lord Loss in book 4. It will ruin the continuity. Yes, it is true. That is why you should never have Just Land. If I was Drast and I was suspicious of Lord Loss, guys, and his manipulation, I would have captured him and forced the information out of Lord Loss' mouth. Torture would be sufficient, since Drast only cares about his objective and doesn't value lives. Suppose uncovering Lord Loss' intentions would have helped me achieve my goals. I would have done it without a second thought. Instead, we find out Lord Loss' plan at the end of book 4, which makes the entire scene completely pointless. Drast is done playing chess and informs Beck they will meet the old creatures. Beck and Drast take off their clothes, leaving their underwear intact. Drast suggests using heat magic to keep them from being cold. They dive into the sea and meet with the old creatures. The old creatures inform Drast and Beck where is the Demonata portal. They only have limited time before the demons arrive. To close the Demonata portal, a sacrifice needs to happen. Either Drast or Beck has to die. The old creatures leave. Drast and Beck return to the crew. They find some horses and begin to ride them. Thanks to the previous fight, Beck's husbando's wounds have worsened. Also, Fianca has a crush on Beck. Way to introduce it when he's dying, Arthur. It is not bad drama at all. The characters find the cave. They all go inside of it and we have an exploration. The characters find the Demonata portal. And now we have two plot twists. Both of them are awful for different reasons. Plot twist number 1. In the world of the Demonata book series, to open the portal of the Demonata, a person has to be sacrificed. The user who used the sacrifice becomes the portal. So far so good. The user in question is Drast's brother. That revelation came out of nowhere. For the duration of the book, Drast never spoke about his brother. He was only focusing on his destination. The reveal also fails because Drast feels nothing about his brother being a hideous portal. If the characters don't care about it, why should the readers care? Plot twist number 2. Remember Gonla speaking with Lord Loss? Take a wild guess at what happens. Do you wanna know what happens? Of course! he joined the side of the demons. His motivation makes sense. Unlike the director of Book 3, most people in medieval times did not read books or were knowledgeable. Kings always desire power, and they will do anything to obtain it. Conlan is not a king yet. Because he wants to be powerful, he sided with the demons. He also revealed he told Lord Los about everyone's weakness. When Fianca was injured, Conlan used poison to worsen Fianca's injuries. He pushed Ronan off the cliff. My problem with this is not the traitor reveal. It could have worked if Darren didn't allow Beck to see both Conlan and Lord Los whispering with each other. Beck did not say anything and let her friends and husbando die. In a way, she was also the culprit. She should take the blame as well. Well done, Beck. You deserve to die. Demons arrive. Beck uses magic to push Conlan at the waterfall, breaking his protective spell of demonic blood and allowing the Demonata to slaughter him. Lorcan and Gol also die in battle. So long, NPCs. Beck and Drast are inside Drast's brother's cave. They spot the Demonata portal. Drast is using magic, and Beck is ready to be sacrificed. Runfast stabs Drast because he doesn't want to see Beck die. Drast informs Beck to finish the spell, and he will be the sacrifice. Beck manages to close the portal. Because the portal is no longer open, the tunnel is about to close. Runfast and Beck are running towards the exit. Vane, one of Lord Los's demons, captures Beck's leg. Beck uses magic to push Vane away. She also uses her remaining magic to push Runfast out of the tunnel. However, she is trapped inside of it. Lord Los arrives and reveals the whole reason. He was secretly helping them to close the portal. He dislikes the other demons who seek slaughtering humanity. Lord Los would be unable to feed himself on human sorrow without humans. That part makes sense. It makes Lord Los to stand out compared to other villains in young adult books. Unfortunately, Darren misused Lord Los and butchered him in later books. Lord Los takes Drast's chessboard and commands Vane to kill Beck. The book ends with Beck slowly dying from Vane's attacks.
In conclusion to this review, the Demonata Beck book is definitely better than book 3, however, it has its issues. Darren San did a lot of research on how the people during the medieval times were living, which was good. The concepts presented about the Christianity replacing magic is amazing. However, the story has one-dimensional characters who are self-sabotaging each other. And again, the backstory for the demons is pretty awful to say the least. And the conclusion is bad. So, my rating for this book is 4 out of 10 and 2 stars out of 5. So thank you guys for watching this review. Make sure to like, subscribe to my channel, and have a good day.